One of the questioner has asked how to realize my true self right now. Right now. Now, interestingly, the questioner has not mentioned how to find my true self. Because when you use the word find, it implies that effort is needed to achieve it, to find it. It's not near you, it's somehow far from you. You have to travel some distance to reach there. And when we use the word realize, it simply means that it's right here, right now, it is here. But I have not realized it yet. I am not aware of it yet. So, how to realize my true self? Now, when we say true self, you'd have to understand that it means that right now we are identified with the wrong self or a false self. And when you say true self, whom are you talking about? Is there someone else sitting inside you which you are trying to find? Or which you want to realize? Or is it about yourself? How far are you from yourself? But the problem is, right now, you are identified with the false self. In the poetic expression, we can say that there are many false layers on top of the true self, and these false layers of false self needs to be dropped. As soon as it is dropped, true self is all there is. So before we come to that point, it is important to understand so you have to understand what is this false self you are identified with. What are these layers and how to drop it. You have to clearly see what is you and what is not you. Once this clarity comes, nothing needs to be done. It does not mean that what is not you should be destroyed altogether. No. Only this clarity needs to come. This realization needs to come. That what is not you and what is you, the real you. So let's start with the outer surface or outer layer of what you call as you. Your physical body, or in yogic tradition we say Annamaya Kosh, or the food body. Why is it called a food body? Because when you were born, you were very small in size. But were you incomplete? Were you born incomplete at that time? Did anyone say that half kid has born or a quarter kid has born? No, you were complete at that time also. What grew over time was your physical body, based on what you ate, what kind of nutrients you gathered through the food you ate. So what grew in size was your food body, your physical body. And when you say that I was born on this particular date, is it really true? Before that date, were you not alive? Even before your date of birth, you were there. You existed in the womb of your mother. So were you really born that day? And even before your physical body was conceived, all the raw material which was used to construct this physical body, was it not present? Even before you were not conceived, those raw materials were there in the bodies of your parents. So when were you really born? So this is about the physical body when you are identified with it. You say I was born on this date and a name was given to that body, and you considered that name as you, then later on you stick identities with it. I'm this, I'm that, my nationality is this, my caste is this, my religion is this. This is all the data which was gathered in your mind, which you stored in your mind, in your memory. So honestly, when you say I, you should ask yourself, who is asking this question? When you say I'm this, I'm that, body is not capable of thinking all that. Body is just an instrument which has the five senses of sight, of hearing, of skin sensations, your smell, taste. The body is an instrument which your mind uses to capture those sensations, those data, to analyze it and then intercept the meaning of it and capture those experiences in the memory. So you have to understand that your body and mind are two different entities. So are you this body, this physical body? Or the mind which says, I am this, I am that? This capability of thinking belongs to the mind, not with the body. Body cannot say or analyze or think that I am this or that. This capacity belongs to the mind. Now when we say mind, it has many layers. Let's start with the memories. Whatever data you have been gathering from the moment you open your eyes, when you were born, all the experiences you gathered through your five senses, it's all stored. Scientists say that your mind records even the color of the wall of that room where you were born. Even that data is stored somewhere. The first face you saw, that environment, everything was stored. But fortunately, You only have access to those memories which are relevant, which are important to you. Otherwise, a person would go mad with this enormous amount of data. Imagine if you suddenly get access to all the memories, moment by moment, each memory since your birth. You will go insane. Fortunately, your memory only has those important memories accessible to you, which were, you can say, which made a greater impact on you. So all those memories which were not that important were sent to the storage room. And in yogic tradition, we say all these memories, whatever data you gather through your five senses, all the experiences, this is considered as trash, as garbage. To understand it more accurately or deeply, and the smell of this garbage are your thoughts, emotions. So depending on what kind of garbage you have gathered, that kind of smell, that kind of thoughts you will experience. And regardless thoughts are pleasant or unpleasant, it's still coming from the same garbage. Whether it is a pleasant smell or an unpleasant smell, it's still a smell of the same garbage. Now it is important to understand what is the difference between thoughts and emotions. Let's understand this with an example. Suppose you are in a crowded space and you saw a person whom you found very attractive. So, and a thought arose in your mind. Oh, that person is interesting. Now, this is a thought. Which can easily be ignored if you want, or you can give more attention to it and it will become more strong. So you have to remember one thing: wherever your attention is, energy flows there. Wherever your attention is, energy flows there. So your eyes saw a person, data was captured by the mind, a thought arose, this person is interesting. Now here is the opportunity. If you ignore this thought and shift your attention to something else, it has no power. It is simply a ripple, a weak ripple on the surface of a lake. And if you will give more attention to it, you're giving more energy to it, it will become more powerful. Suppose you're giving more attention to this thought, oh, that person is interesting, then the chain of thoughts will continue. One thought after another thought. Okay, should I talk to that person? Should I do something to make him or her my friend? Or let's explore other aspects? Suppose you became friend and later on you entered into a relationship. Now the same thought, that standalone thought, which could have simply gone if you would have shifted your attention. You gave more energy to it, and now it has become an emotion. Now you might be in love with that, or there's a strong attraction for that person. Now this has become an emotion because you gave more energy to it. So that thought, that standalone thought, was very subtle, very weak. But now as you have given more energy to it, it has become denser. Now suppose after few weeks of dating with that person or in that relationship, you got to know about some information that proves that this person is not good for you, and you should immediately stop your relationship with that person. Now, at this point, when you will try to shift your attention, now you know that you should not give any attention to that person. It would not be that easy because you have already invested so much energy there. And now it has become a denser emotion. So this is the difference between a weak thought and a stronger emotion. The same thought, if given more energy, it becomes denser and denser and denser and becomes a strong emotion. When it is at the level of thoughts, you can easily get distracted. You can shift your attention to something else and it's gone as if it never happened. But when it has reached the level of emotion, now it is not that easy. I'm not saying it is very difficult. No, it can still be done if you keep your if you stop giving more energy to that emotion and you're shifting your attention to something else and investing more energy somewhere else, then it can still be done, but you would have to invest more energy somewhere else to get rid of that emotion. So that's the issue which most people face when they go through breakups or any relationship issues and all. So the best solution for them is shift your attention to somewhere else and do not give any energy. Do not try to fight with that emotion. Do not try to analyze it. Do not try to solve it like that. Shift your attention to something else. Do not give any energy there. Now, we covered these layers of the mind. First one was memories, then thoughts, then emotions. Now, let's come to the identity. What is an identity? This also starts with the thoughts or the kind of memory or data you have gathered. This is about what kind of data you believe in. For example, someone told you that you are very unlucky for him, and you believed in that data. You gave more energy to that thought. Oh, am I unlucky? Oh, I might be unlucky. Oh, I am unlucky. You're giving more energy to this thought. Now it has become not only a dense emotion but also an identity. You believe in this so much that everywhere you go you say, no, don't give any task to me, I'm very unlucky. You have believed in that identity. Similarly, a name was given to you and you believed in it that I am this. You were told your nationality is this. You believed in that identity and you are wearing that as a uniform, that I am this. I'm an American, I'm an Indian, I'm this, I'm that. Or it can be related to any profession. So these are the identities which you wear. This is another layer of mind, you can say, wherein you believe in few identities. And when you spend more energy to these identities, it becomes your ego. Suppose you have built a successful business. Everyone around you is telling you you are such a successful businessman. Wherever you go, you win, and whatever you touch turns into gold. Now you believed in that identity. You started wearing that uniform, you can say. And you started believing in it so much that it has now become a strong ego. Now, then, when it becomes so dense, so strong, then it turns ugly. That's what you see around when you see people who are so identified with their ideas, with their concepts of who they are. And it all starts with a single thought. I am this, I am that, and all. Now, when you are on a spiritual path, these kind of identities, whether the identity is very subtle or it has taken a denser form of ego, pride, these are all barriers. Because these are all concepts of mind. And this is where most people struggle, because they believe in certain things. They have too identified with these kind of uniform, you can say. Now, there is another layer, which is intellect, which discriminates what is right, what is wrong, what should be done, what should not be done, what are the do's, what are the don'ts, what is right, what is wrong. And basically, this intellect tries to protect the identities you believe in. And this is where you struggle in terms of likes and dislikes. For example, you like certain things. When you have made this barrier that I like this, I do not like that, then whatever you do not like can gradually turn into some kind of discrimination, sometimes hatred, and it takes weird kind of ugly forms. Hence we say, if you really want to progress in spirituality, you would have to go beyond your likes and dislikes. It should be it should not be like this. I like this, I do not like that. No, you would have to go beyond all that. You have to go beyond this discrimination. Because when we say Yoga, the ultimate union, non-dual enlightenment, realization, whatever fancy names you want to use, it's all about oneness. And when there is oneness, there cannot be any discrimination. It's all one. How can you like something and do not like something? Where is the duality? So we'll come to that later. Now, one faculty of your mind is attention, as we discussed in thoughts and emotions also. So basically, this attention is beyond your thoughts and emotions, because this tool of mind has the power to direct the energy wherever you want to. So as we discussed, that wherever your attention is, energy flows there. So if you will keep your attention in your thoughts all the time, because thoughts are what? The smell of the same fresh, the past. Even if it is trying to imagine a future, the raw material is the same old garbage, right? So if you will keep your attention in your thoughts, either it will talk about the past memories, or the future imaginations, and both are not true. Both do not exist right now. Past is already gone. Why to waste time there? And why to waste time in imagining things which are not even there and which might not happen at all? And I'm not saying that you should not plan. Planning is different. I'm talking about do not waste time in daydreaming. The future should be like this, future should be like that. Once planning is done, simply focus on what needs to be done now. There's no need to waste your time in imagining all the time, which is not even real. And I hope you know by now that whatever imaginations you wasted your time in throughout your life, it would never happen 100% like that. So why to waste time in useless imaginations? Why not focusing on what needs to be done now? And to keep your attention in this moment, thoughts are not needed. When you're completely in the present moment, there is no space for thoughts. So, this layer of mind or this tool of mind is very important in this path of spirituality, because everything depends on where you are keeping your attention. If you are keeping it on past memories or future imaginations, that's where the energy will flow. There is a very subtle layer of mind which is not in your experience, which is in Sanskrit called chit, and there is no equivalent word in English language. And we're not going to discuss this here because it is not in your experience yet. When the time would come, you would know all by yourself. Now, apart from these layers of mind, beyond your body and mind, there is your life energy, which we say in Sanskrit, Pranmay Sharir, Pranmay Kosh, or in simple terms you can say life energy. Now, as you might know that for every movement, every action, energy is needed. So some of your energy you get from your food, from the air you breathe in, and the major source of your energy is this subtle layer, which is your Pranmay Sharir. Now, this is the platform, you can say, on which the body and mind plays. And there are certain practices in yogic tradition wherein we directly try to balance this aspect of you. And you might have practiced pranayam. Pranayam is all about balancing your prana, which is your life energy. Now this was about the layers of what you call as me. And these are the layers, you can say. Which helps in experiencing everything moment by moment, which makes everything feel real. So that you do not doubt whatever is happening around you is an illusion or Maya. These are the faculties, these are the layers which are, in a way, managing the show. Now, whatever you have experienced till now, through your five senses, the universe you see around you, whatever you see, I hope you know that scientists say that it's all made up of atoms. And although earlier it was believed that atom is the smallest unit, but now we know that that's not it. If we go deeper into it, then there are some subatomic particles, and then at subatomic level they say that subatomic particles do not behave like particles at all. They are strings of energy. There are many theories about it. I was going through some of these studies about Higgs boson, God particle, current string theory, and dark matter, dark energy and all. And the essence of all this is that at this subatomic level, it's all energy. And even that those energy strings or particles, whatever you want to call it, those are in a vibratory mode. In a way, those are disappearing and reappearing, disappearing into nothingness, reappearing out of nothingness. And this is happening very fast, very, very fast. So they are saying that everything is, the whole universe is in a way vibrating at subatomic level, and it is happening so fast that You cannot even notice it through your eyes. So the question is, where exactly it is dissipating, and from where all these particles or subatomic particles are reappearing. And even if at that level it's only energy, it behaves like as if it is a particle. Everything is solid around you. But in a way, it's all hollow. Now, have you seen the diagram of an atom? You would notice that the major portion of what you call as atom is empty, is hollow, it's void. So some studies have recently proven that whatever we perceive around, it's only 0.001%. And the rest of 99.999%, it's unmanifested. It cannot be perceived. And some scientists have even said that it is not perceivable. It cannot be perceived. Like you can read about dark energy. So when you look at your hand, you know it's also made up of all those atoms and all those subatomic level or subatomic particles. And the major portion of what you call as your hand is hollow. What you see is only 0.001%. And it's not only about your hand or your body, it's applicable for everything around you. So, when you say I, when you consider yourself as this body, you forget and you do not realize that major portion of what you call as you or what you consider as me is empty. There's nothing there. Whatever you can feel, whatever you can perceive, it's only 0.001%. Rest of that is empty, void. And because this whole universe is vibrating, this void, this emptiness is the source from which it all appears and where it all disappears. In a way, you can say this is the play of this something and nothing. Where the major portion, the 99.99%, is nothing, nothingness. And even this 0.001% which you call as universe, the perceivable universe, even this is vibrating. Every fraction of a second, it is disappearing into the rest of the 99.99% nothingness and reappearing very fast, many times in a fraction of a second. When Gautam Buddha realized his true self, he started these things around him. In Buddhist scriptures, it is written somewhere that he mentioned that when I look at my body, it feels as if it is vibrating very fast. It is disappearing and reappearing many times in a moment. So all these things which we are covering here is just to make your mind realize that what you call as real is not what it looks like. It's not what it feels like. And you do not have to believe all whatever I'm saying here. All this will come into your experience. And some of this has been proven by scientists also. You can do some research on this. The universe around you, whatever things around you which you see, it might look very solid, very real to you. Even if you look everything around you and try to perceive it with their atomic structure, the air around you is made up of atoms. Why it is not visible? Because those atoms are not attached very closely, those are very loose. Hence it is not visible. And whatever is visible is because atoms are closely attached to each other. Now, that's where in yogic tradition we say there are 5 elements. Now, what are these 5 elements? When we say earth, water, fire, air, or akash, look at them very closely. When we say earth, we are not referring to this planet. We are referring to everything which is solid. So we're talking about the solid state. When we say water, it's not only water, it's all types of liquids. So we're talking about the liquid state. And when we say air, it's not only the air you see around you. It covers all kind of gases. And when we say fire, it's not the flame we are talking about. You're talking about the temperature. And Akash, you can say, is the space or the platform which allows all these rest of the elements to play and manifest this whole creation, this universe. Now, if you would have read about the Big Bang Theory, they say that it all started with a bang, a big explosion. Then there were many clouds of gases. So that was the gaseous state. And when it started condensing, it became nebulas, galaxies. Then it started condensing more, and stars came into existence. For some time, it was all the molten liquids, and then when it condensed more, it became the solid state, like in the case of Earth. So these are the 5 elements, from subtle to gross. So grossest is the earth or the solid state. If you apply more temperature to it or the fire element to it, then it becomes more subtle and converts into the liquid state, which is the water element. When you apply more temperature to it, it becomes more subtle, or you can say more loose. The atomic structure becomes loose, and it converts into the gaseous state. And this fire element is closest to the Akash element. If you want to experience the Akash element, it is felt more strongly near any kind of fire, any kind of flame or bonfire. That's why worship was considered very sacred in almost all ancient cultures throughout the globe. There were few practices which were quite common in spite of no connection between these ancient cultures, like fire worship or worshipping to natural forces, wind, forests. So although there was no physical connection between these ancient cultures, but something was common. And it's a matter of research that how these ancient spiritual practices were so common. Now, this was about the 5 elements. And yes, when we are in this spiritual path, basically we are trying to move from the gross aspects of us to the subtle aspects. And the subtlest of all is the nothingness, the void, the silence, which is the source of everything in this universe. That 99.99% of everything, where even this 0.001% merges and reappears. So this is about identifying not with the 0.001% of who we are, but with the 99.99% of who we are. So there are many types of paths described in yogic tradition, and primarily those were categorized into four major categories. There are many subcategories. There are some, you can say 112 subcategories. Those are further divided into many, and honestly, you can say that there are as many paths. Honestly, when we say paths, basically it's an individual journey. So you will find your own path, which might be unique. Hence, there is no need to listen to what others have experienced in their journey, because your path will be unique, and it might be entirely different. You might not experience all those things which others have, and so you can say every person has his own path. But to understand all this, there are some major categories. So the four major categories are the Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Kriya Yoga. When we say Karma Yoga, when we apply our physical body and we do not want to understand the process of spirituality, we simply want to get our physical body involved in a certain practice. It can be any practice. Like in Buddhist monasteries, you would have seen that some people are involved in gardening or cooking for years. That's the only practice they do. That's the meditation for them. So what they're doing is basically they're not analyzing the spiritual process. They're simply getting involved. They're letting their body do certain tasks, and they're completely focused there. And when you have this kind of dedication, when you're not expecting any results of what my activity would give me, or what would I get with my action, when you're simply doing it for the sake of it, for the love of it, and offering it to divine, or you're not expecting anything at all, that's called Karma Yoga. Another aspect of this is the selfless service, like you would have seen in certain temples or monasteries, gurdwaras and all, where people are simply offering their service without any reward and recognition. They're simply doing it as a cleansing process, wherein you are not expecting anything in return for that activity or service. So that is Karma Yoga. And in this generation, where a lot of activity is needed, You might have some responsibilities and some liabilities and all. So you do not have to feel any kind of burden with those kind of environment, and you can get yourself involved in karma yoga, wherein you are simply fulfilling your duties without expecting any result, but still giving you 100%. And when you give your 100%, most of the time results will be in your favor. Even if it would not be, for some unfortunate reason, you'll not be bothered about it. You'll simply focus on the task, and you'll not be bothered about what it is going to give you, not attaching much expectations with it. That's the practice which we advise to people who have certain responsibilities towards family, towards their friends or colleagues. Now, when you involve your mind, and specifically your emotions and thoughts, to progress in spirituality, that is called Bhakti Yoga. Here you use the emotional layer of your mind by keeping your attention not in the useless thoughts and useless emotions, but using the same tool which otherwise might be restless and wandering in wrong places. You are gathering that same energy, and you are utilizing the same thoughts and emotions towards the inner direction, or sometimes you can use it for an object for a certain time to keep you away from other distractions. It can be, that's why you see in India there is idol worship, and there are many such practices. It is not necessary that you have to be devoted towards a particular statue or an idol. It can be for anything. So the idea is to remove other distractions first of all, and concentrate on one particular object, and then move beyond that also. So here you can say this is the path of devotion and love, wherein the object of love becomes more important than you, wherein you are not important at all. And the object of devotion, whomsoever you are devoted to, becomes more important. Now here the trick is that wherever your attention is, energy flows there. So you are concentrating your energy in one particular object. It can be your favorite deity, or it can be formless God, or it can be your guru, or many people apply many types of techniques here. It's not important where the devotion is, honestly. It's all about concentrating your energy in one place, first of all, because ultimately you have to go beyond that also. Once it is so concentrated, when there are no other distractions, then even that object is not needed. You have to move beyond that. Now, This is considered one of the quickest path, you can say, because ultimately it leads to surrender. So this path of surrender is considered the quickest, but it is not that easy as it seems, because for most people it is not that easy to keep your analytical mind aside and completely surrender to the unknown. It requires a certain level and intensity of faith, that leap of faith where you know when you have no idea what's on the other side, but still you're ready to sacrifice, you're ready to surrender everything, even your subtlest desire, even the desire of getting free, getting liberated, the slightest desire. Because with any single desire of this limited self, this limited ego, would not let you pass that threshold. Now, what I'm going to say next would resonate with those who are meant to be in this particular path of Bhakti Yoga, the path of love, devotion, and surrender. It might not resonate with everyone, but I'm sure there would be few people who would be ready to surrender everything. And this might connect with them, and anything can happen. So, if you believe that there is any God, a God which is omnipresent everywhere, please focus on this word, everywhere. What does this word, everywhere, literally means? When we say God is everywhere, can there be any place left where God is not present, even 1 millimeter, or even fraction of a millimeter? Because if there is any space left in this entire universe where God is not present, how can you say that God is everywhere? This statement would be wrong, right? So when you say God is everywhere, that would mean that there is not even a 1 millimeter of space left in this entire universe where God is not present. literally everywhere. Feel this now. God is everywhere. Don't try to imagine what is God, who is God. Your mind cannot imagine that. But focus on this word everywhere. Now the question is, if God is everywhere, and if there is not even a little space left where there is no God, if God is literally everywhere, where is the space for you? Where is the space left for a separate you? So if God is everywhere, is there any possibility of a separate identity of you? Are you really separate from God? If God is really everywhere, where are you in all this? You have assumed that you are a separate identity, just like a tiny cell in your body. If it gets any consciousness, it can assume that it is separate from the whole body. But is it really true? So when there is no separation between you and God, when you are already one, there is no separate you. What are you searching for? You are already that, what you are searching for. Let this illusion of a separate you dissolve in this union. There is no separate you. Let this illusion fade away. would not say become one with God, get dissolved in this God which is everywhere, because you were always this. You never got separated. Even this illusion was part of the plan. Let it fade away. Nothing needs to be done here. Complete surrender. Now, even if you say surrender, gradually you would notice that it is just to convince the mind to leave this illusion. Otherwise, even this word is childish. Who will surrender? And into what? When there was never any separation. It's like saying or convincing a tide which has risen up in the surface of ocean. It's like convincing that tide that you are water. Become water. How childish. Even this separation was an illusion. Regardless how the tide rise above the ocean, it always remains the ocean. There is no separate identity. Let this drop merge into the ocean and become the ocean itself. This is the path of Bhakti Yoga, the path of love, surrender. Now the third category of yoga is Gyan Yoga, which we will cover later in much detail. The fourth category is Kriya Yoga. Now, if you would notice, in Karma Yoga, we use the outer surface of who we call as me. That is the physical body. When we use our physical body, the outer surface of who we are, or who we consider we are, So when we use our outer body, the physical body, that is Karma Yoga. When we use our mind, specifically the thoughts and emotions, then that is Bhakti Yoga, which we just discussed. When we use our intellect, that faculty of mind which discriminates between right or wrong, or what is true and what is false. When we use our intellect, that is called Gyan Yoga, the path of knowledge, which we will discuss later. And when we use the life energies directly, that is called Kriya Yoga. Now, what is Gyan Yoga? The path of knowledge. Now, when we say knowledge, it's not about the bookish knowledge which you gather by reading books or by watching videos, by gathering all kind of data or garbage in your mind. That's not what we are talking about. It's not that knowledge. This is about the direct experience, the knowing. So here, the path of knowledge is about the direct experience. It's about not believing or disbelieving on all the concepts you hear or read around. This is about directly experiencing it. So, in the previous segment, the Bhakti Yoga, it starts with the belief that God is everywhere. But this path of Gyan Yoga is the path of seeking the truth. Here, there is no scope of believing which is not in our experience yet. This is about seeking the truth. This is about discarding what is false, what is not me. And when you keep on discarding what is not you, in the end, the only thing left will be the true self, the real self, the pure awareness. Now, even this is a name. So do not try to imagine what is pure awareness. Mind cannot imagine this. This is also a name. You cannot name it. So it is not necessary to attach a name to it. Do not believe in any bookish knowledge or any concept, and start by discarding what is not you. Then only the true knowing will dawn upon you. These mental concepts will not help you. Now, how to do it? Before that, you have to understand few things. in your experience, there are three types of states. One is this so-called waking state. Second is the dream state. Whenever you go to sleep and you start dreaming, you create a dream world inside you, inside your head. You create a dream world. That is your dream state. And the third one is the deep sleep. We cannot say exactly that it is your experience, because those hours of deep sleep are completely you can say blackout, or you do not have any memory of that. You do not record anything for that, because there is no sense of mind, no thoughts, no experiencer. You're not even experiencing. There is no concept of time and space at that time, in that duration when you are absolutely in deep sleep. So we cannot say it's in your experience, but at least you know that it's there. Even in daytime, whenever you enter deep sleep, let's suppose for 1 hour or 2 hours, then you know that these 2 hours were completely gone. I don't know what happened at that time. So you will not be able to tell what happened at that time. But at least you know that it exists. So these are the three states in your experience. Now, what is the difference between these three states? When you are in a dream state, if you will try to remember your last dream, you would notice that there was a projected dream inside your head, and there was a projected body there. And in the dream, when you were in the dream, you were considering that projected body as you, although your physical body was lying on your bed. But in your dream world, there was another projected body which you were considering as you at that time. So you were conscious at that time that you exist, but you were identified with a fake projected body. It was not real. You were not aware in the dream that there is another physical body lying in the bed. For that duration of the dream world, that projected fake body was the real body for you. And that was the body which was letting your mind, your projected mind, feel that dream was real. When you were in the dream, you were not aware that it was a dream. It felt vivid. It felt so real, because all the experiences which are required to let you feel that it's all real were projected in the dream. So it was all your mind's projection, and mind was successful in fooling you that it was all real, because there was a projected body to feel all the five sensory perceptions, and the whole environment which was projected. It was enough to fool your projected mind that it was all real. Now suppose you are in a dream in which you are not aware that it is a dream, and you are considering it as real. And suppose in that dream there is a big lion chasing you, and you're running very fast to save yourself from this lion. Suppose you are running very fast in this dream. So who is really running in this dream? Is this the projected body which is afraid? In fact, the projected mind is afraid. Are you really running there? So, are you that projected body which is running in the dream, or are you the one which is witnessing this projected body, this projected mind, and even this projected mind which is feeling scared of this projected lion? Who are you in all this? And suppose someone comes in your dream and tell you and try to shake you to convince you that it's all a dream. Don't get scared. It's all your own projection. No one has entered inside your dream from outside. It's all your own projection. It's all you. There is no one else here. Even all these characters, even this big lion, it's all you. It's all your projection. Your mind's projection. No one has entered from outside. Even if this character comes and tries to convince you, would you believe that person? Never. You would only realize that it was all a dream when you will wake up from this dream. Similarly, if I will tell you that this is a dream, you're listening this voice in a dream, would you believe me? Well, a fraction of your mind might start to believe it, but still there will be some doubt. Is it true? You will only be convinced that it is a dream. It was really a dream when you will wake up from it. That is why this spiritual process is called awakening. Wake up from what? From this dream. That is why in Sanskrit this is called Maya, which means illusion, a dream. So many realized beings use this term to describe all this as a dream. Be it Sri Ramana Maharshi or Gautam Buddha or many other realized beings. That is the reason I mention the so-called waking state. Because there are only two states. Either it is a dream state or it's a deep sleep. Now what's the difference between a dream state and a deep sleep? In so-called waking state and even in dream state, you are identified with the projected body, with the projected mind. You are conscious that you exist. But this sense of I am is associated with the wrong identity. Of either the projected body in the dream or the projected body in the so-called waking state. After all, it's all projection. So, the difference between the dream state and deep sleep is this, that when you enter deep sleep, you lose the sense of your surrounding, you lose the sense of your body, you lose the sense of your mind, thoughts, emotion, identities, everything. And you lose the sense of I exist, I am also. That is the consciousness. That is the reason in deep sleep you're not even conscious that you exist or not. That particular time when you are in deep sleep, in your experience, completely vanishes, as if it is beyond time and space, because you lose the track of everything. You lose the track of time and space. This is called your pure state, because whatever is not you is discarded automatically, be it the projected body, the projected mind, even the consciousness that you exist, I am, even that is discarded. Here in deep sleep you are in your natural pure state of being. So every night you enter this state. But the idea is to enter it consciously. You might have noticed that whenever you are in a new place and you wake up from a deep sleep, then sometimes you try to identify where am I, which place is this, how I came here. So when you come out of the deep sleep, when you wake up, first comes the sense of I am, this consciousness, I exist. This sense of I am is the first appearance. And then the mind appears with its memories, with its analysis, which tells you that, okay, I came here at that time, that's how I reached here, this place is this. All this information comes from the memories. So before these thoughts and these memories, there is a sense of I am, the consciousness. This is not a thought. Right now, to feel the sense of I am, you do not need any effort at all. You do not need any thoughts at all. That's the most obvious thing based on which, or you can say this is the platform of I amness on which the mind plays. This is the doorway to the true self, because this is the closest. This sense of I am. When you say I exist, I am, before this thought appears in the mind, there is already a sense that you exist. There is no doubt that you exist, right? To feel your presence right now, to feel that you exist, you do not need a thought. You already know that. Yeah, I exist. Yes, I am. You don't need to analyze that. This is called the consciousness. If you keep your attention here without disturbing it with any thought, because thoughts are not needed here, this will take you to the pure awareness, where even this sense of I am is not there. Because the true self is beyond consciousness. Just like in deep sleep, there is nothing to be experienced and there is no experiencer. Similarly, in true self, when you are abiding in true self, there is no experiencer. There is no duality there. Now, what is this duality? To experience anything, two entities are needed. One is the subject or the experiencer, and second is the object, what is being experienced. So This sound which you are hearing right now is the object, and the one who is listening is the subject. What you are seeing, suppose you're watching at your mobile, that's the object, and the one who is witnessing this is the subject. To experience anything, this duality is needed, subject and object. Now, you have to understand that this subject, the one who is witnessing all this, can only witness the objects. It cannot witness itself. For example, your eyes can see this mobile, but eyes cannot roll itself to see itself. Another example is a knife can cut the objects. It can cut the vegetables or fruits or anything, but a knife cannot cut itself. So similarly, a subject can only witness the objects around it, but it cannot witness itself. So when you are in search of this witnesser, the I, which is witnessing all this, which is witnessing the surroundings, which is witnessing this projected body, which is witnessing the fluctuations of your mind in terms of thoughts, emotions, its identities, even the attention. Where is your attention right now? If you want to shift it, there is a witness required to see where it is right now. Then only you can shift it to other place, right? To any other object. So even this attention which you shift from this object to other object, this attention itself is an object for this subject called I, the witnesser. So whatever this I, this witnesser, can witness cannot be I itself. So whatever you can witness cannot be you, because you are the subject. You cannot witness yourself. You are a knife which can cut objects but cannot cut itself. So similarly, you are a witnesser who can witness whatever objects are around you. You can only witness what is not you. So whatever you can witness can never be you. Hence, if you can witness this body, you cannot be this body. You are the one who is witnessing this body. When any thought appear in your mind, you are not this thought which comes and goes. Because in a minute, many thoughts come and go. You are not coming and going. These thoughts are coming and going. You are not this thought. You are the one who is witnessing these thoughts. So which proves that you are not this mind which is thinking. You are not this mind which is feeling anything, because you can witness the feeling. You are not this mind which is analyzing, because you can witness this analysis. You are beyond the mind. You can witness the mind. Now you have to find who is this witnesser? Who am I really here? On a deeper level, even this sense of I am, which is not a thought, which is beyond the thoughts and emotion, hence it is beyond the mind. The sense of I exist, the sense of I am, the pure consciousness, even this can be witnessed. Hence you are beyond that also, where there is nothing to be witnessed, where there are no objects left to witness. Now you'd have to ask yourself, can you witness this witnesser also? The one who is witnessing all this, because mind might create an illusionary witnesser to try to fool you. But if you can witness this witnesser, you are not this illusionary object. You are beyond that. Because you can never witness the witnesser. You can only witness what you are not. So even if mind has created this illusionary witnesser, you're not that. Question, who is witnessing this? If mind is saying anything, the question should come, who is this mind talking to? Who is listening to this mind? Can you find that witnesser? You can never find that witnesser because you are that and you cannot find yourself. You can only be yourself. You cannot witness yourself. You can only witness what you're not. Similarly, when you witness a dream, try to remember the last dream which you remember vividly. Whatever was happening in that dream, that projected dream world, there might be sun, star, forest, trees, many other characters, animals, birds. But notice that it was all your mind's projection. No one entered your dream from outside. Let's take the same example of the lion which was chasing you. All this is your projection. Regardless it's a projected body or the projected lion, it's all you. There is no one there except you. You are the creator of that world. Regardless how many humans, how many characters are there, there's no one else. Now suppose even that projected body, if it gets any doubt, it can say to other characters, are you experiencing the same thing what I'm experiencing? Because I feel it might be a dream. the character would say, no, I am experiencing the same thing, because it's all your projection. Mind has projected that dream to fool you, or rather fool itself, because the real you is witnessing all this unaffectedly, untouched by it. It does not care what kind of scene is playing in front of it. It has seen many such dreams. It has seen many such projected bodies. Even if that lion catches this dream projected body, the real you does not care. It would not enter the dream and try to wake you up and tell you this is all a dream. It would not interfere with the content of the dream. It would let it happen. I'm talking about the real you, not the mind. Because the mind is already engaged in the dream. It is already believing that it is all real. But the real you is not analyzing the dream, because analysis or thinking is subject to the level of mind only. Beyond that, there are no thoughts, there are no analysis. The real you is not analyzing the dream. Only the projected mind is doing that. Only the projected mind is believing that the dream is real. Real you is not interested in what is being played. It is not even analyzing. It is neither interested nor disinterested. It's beyond all that. So that's the real you, which is unaffected, untouched by the projected surroundings, the projected dream, the projected universe. That's the pure awareness. Or rather, I would say, don't attach a name to it. No need. Because these names are given by the mind only. And mind, regardless how hard it tried to understand this, how hard it tries to imagine this, it can never reach there. Now you have to be with this sense of witnessing without getting affected. What is the content of projected dream in front of you? It does not matter. Be with this sense of I am, I exist initially. This is the doorway. And this pure sense of I am, untouched by the thoughts, unaffected by the fluctuations of the mind and thoughts. This sense of I am will take you to the pure awareness, which is witnessing this pure sense of I am also, this consciousness. So now coming back to the question, how to realize my true self right now. Now, who is asking this question? Who wants to realize the true self? This question is coming from the mind. Mind is trying to imagine that there is someone called true self which it needs to realize. But the real question is, when this thought arises in the mind, how to realize the true self? This is also a thought. Who is witnessing this? Who is this mind talking to? Who is this true self mind is talking about? It's you, the real you. You do not need to realize you are already that. Mind might create an illusion that effort is needed to do this, to do that. But you can witness this activity of the mind and remain untouched, unaffected. You do not have to fight with your mind. You do not even have to convince your mind. Let it play its game. Do not pay much attention to it. Because wherever your attention is, energy flows there. Don't give unnecessary energy to your mind. And keep your attention in this pure sense of I exist, I am. This pure sense which is beyond the thoughts, the mind. The sense of I am is not a thought. Keep your attention here, and it will gradually take you to the source. You would notice gradually that if you manage to keep your attention away from the thoughts, then everything starts to fade away. Your surroundings, even the sense of your body, the mind, the thoughts, everything. Just like it happens in deep sleep. You lose the sense of your surrounding, the body, the mind, thoughts, identities, time and space. Similarly, if you will keep your attention in this pure sense of I am, the pure consciousness, untouched, unaffected by the restlessness of the mind, you will notice that you lose the sense of your surrounding, your body, mind and thoughts, everything. As if nothing is happening around you. Nothing ever happened. And nothing will ever happen. Because whatever you call as this universe or your surroundings, it's all the projection of your own projected mind. Otherwise, nothing is really there. Just like in the dream world, nothing is really there. So if you will shift your attention from your thoughts to the pure consciousness, this pure sense of I am, then gradually this so-called universe, this so-called surrounding, this so-called body, this so-called mind and thoughts will start to vanish. You will enter deep meditative states where you will be beyond the time and space, beyond the boundaries of your body, mind, thoughts, everything. And you do not have to wait for that. This sense of I am is right here, right now. No effort is needed to feel your presence right now. Notice this. No effort is needed to feel your presence right now. I'm here. I exist. I am. This is not a thought. This is the consciousness beyond the reach of mind. Now feel the sensations of your body, your projected body, in this projected dream. Can you witness the sensations of your projected body? Are you this projected body, or the one who is witnessing this projected body? Can you clearly see that you are not this projected body, but the one who is witnessing this projected body? Now shift your attention to your feelings right now, what your mind is feeling right now. Are you this feeling of this projected mind, or the one who is witnessing these feelings? Can you clearly see that you are not these feelings which come and go? You are the one who is witnessing this. Now shift your attention to your thoughts. Witness what your mind is thinking right now. Are you these thoughts which come and go, or the one who is witnessing these thoughts? Notice this. Can you clearly say that you are not these thoughts which fluctuate and move, these thoughts which come and go, but you are the one who is witnessing all these thoughts in this projected mind? be as a witnesser here. You shifted your attention from the body to the feelings of the mind to the thoughts of the mind. And all this while your attention shifted from one layer, the outer layer, to the inner layer of mind. Now ask yourself, are you this attention which shifted from one layer to the other? Or you are the one who witnessed the movement of the attention? Now, can you find this witnesser? Who is this witnesser? Can you witness this witnesser? If your mind has created an illusionary witnesser, ask yourself, who is witnessing that? Can you witness this witnesser? And keep on searching till the time there is nothing to be witnessed. Because you cannot witness yourself. And if you're not the projected body, you're not the projected mind, you're not the attention, as a pure sense of I am, do you have any shape here? Because only body can have a shape, a fixed boundary. As a pure witnesser of all this, do you have any boundary, any shape, any size here? You came here now, or you were always here, witnessing all this, unaffectedly, untouched by the content of this projected dream. If you're not the projected body, the projected mind, were you ever born? Can you ever die? This pure sense of I am, this pure consciousness, which is beyond the boundary of the projected body, in the projected dream, and the projected mind, this pure sense of I amness is this individual to you, or is it common to all characters in the dream? This projected dream which you see all around you, which you call as the so-called reality, is this sense of I amness, is this individual to you or common to everyone? As a pure consciousness, as this pure sense of I am, are you only here or everywhere in this projected dream? In this projected dream, is there anyone else apart from you? Even this voice which is trying to guide you is your own projection in this projected dream, as an indicator, as a pointer to wake you up. Because in reality, nothing ever happened. Nothing is happening right now, and nothing will ever happen. This is the glimpse of the true self. Stay here in this pure sense. Mind might say how to maintain this, but this is just another thought. You can witness that. No one need to maintain anything. It's all there is. Just keep on bringing your attention back to the sense, this pure sense of I amness, consciousness, and everything else will be taken care of automatically. Nothing else needs to be done. You are already that. I am that. I am the true self. Om Anand. Om Shanti. Namaskar. One of the questioner has asked how to realize my true self right now. Right now. Now, interestingly, the questioner has not mentioned how to find my true self. Because when you use the word find, it implies that effort is needed to achieve it, to find it. It's not near you, it's somehow far from you. You have to travel some distance to reach there. And when we use the word realize, it simply means that it's right here, right now, it is here. But I have not realized it yet. I am not aware of it yet. So, how to realize my true self? Now, when we say true self, you'd have to understand that it means that right now we are identified with the wrong self or a false self. And when you say true self, whom are you talking about? Is there someone else sitting inside you which you are trying to find? Or which you want to realize? Or is it about yourself? How far are you from yourself? But the problem is,